Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday, the 23rd of November 2024. And today's Millwall news is Matchday. Big game and a lot of hype before the match. You know, some people thought we were going to win 3-0 today, and then the game actually started and everything just kind of fell flat, because even before the game started we got... I should tell you, if you don't know, the game finished 1-1, which is the fourth. If you follow the channel, you watched the channel, the video yesterday that I did put out very late, so you probably watched it this morning. This is the fourth 1-1 draw between Millwall and Sunderland at Millwall in a row. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, this was hyped up, and then even before the game kicked off, the team sheet, there's no Cooper. Well, Jake Cooper's not starting. Why is he not starting? He's injured. He's injured. Quite a bad injury, and we'll find out more about that later. And then Hutch is playing. And then the game actually starts, and the first half is just absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Come out second half, completely different team. Not literally. There was one substitution, but just totally different way we're playing. So there you go. So let's have a read of this. This is a match report from the club's official website, millwallfc.co.uk. So Lions dig deep to claim a Sunderland draw. Femi Aziz, a second half stoppage time leveller on Saturday afternoon as Millwall drew 1-1 with Sunderland at the Den. That was Femi Aziz's first goal for Millwall. Fantastic stuff. It had to come sometime, and what better time to come than right here, right now. Aaron Connolly's effort gave the visitors a lead in the first half, but the substitute converted Adomu Maku's cross 3 minutes into injury time to give the Lions a more than deserved point after knocking at the door for the entire second half. Yes, complete Jekyll and Hyde. Neil Harris made 5 changes to the starting 11 for the visit for the Black Cats, as Sean Hutchinson, Joe Bryan, Duncan Watmore, George Saville and George Honeyman came into the lineup at the expense of the injured Jake Cooper, plus Danny McNamara, Tom Bradshaw, Aziz and Ryan Winnell, who all dropped to the bench. Now, obviously, if you don't remember, the last game was a couple of weeks ago, because obviously we had an international break. That was against Stoke City. So obviously Sunderland are the team that's top of the table, so you would imagine that you're putting out your strongest team, because we do have 3 games this week. This is Sunderland today, Pompey on Wednesday, and Oxford away on Saturday. So you would imagine that you would put out the strongest team today. So apparently the strongest team includes Duncan Watmore, not Femi Aziz, Joe Bryan, not Danny McNamara, and Sean Hutchinson for some reason. Although at least Tom Bradshaw did not start. A scrappy start saw neither goalkeeper tested, but the first effort of the afternoon went the way of Sunderland in 10 minutes and fashioned the first goal of the game. As a corner kick looked to be heading away from danger, Connolly's volley from just inside the box beat Lucas Jensen to put the visitors into the lead. It wasn't a corner kick. It was a cross. And the only reason I know this is, as I'm watching the game in the stands, most of the time I'm just thinking how fucking cold it is, and how annoying the people around me are, to be honest. So what I do is, when I get home, I watch the highlights, and then later on I watch the extended highlights, and then maybe even later on, sometimes not, I watch the full match replays, which, if you didn't know, if you're a Millwall TV subscriber, you get that on usually Sunday night, Monday morning kind of thing. It was a cross, I think it was from a free kick that came in the back post, or it got kind of knocked back in by a Sunderland player, I think, and then good old Sean Hutchinson heads it right up perfectly to the Sunderland player, who hits a cracking volley. So Sean Hutchinson with the assist for the goal. Shame it was for the away team. So yeah. Wilson Isidore then swept an effort towards goal, only for it to be hacked away by Ryan Leonard, and the attacker then had a further effort saved by Jensen moments later. Jafet Tanganga had to race back on 17 minutes to prevent Sunderland from a clear run on goal, with Jensen then having to stand tall again to block a close-range effort. Romain Esse's ball towards Josh Coburn was intercepted at the other end. Meanwhile, with Jensen called into action further on 21 minutes as Tommy Watson struck one from the edge of the area. The next opportunity of note came on the half-hour mark as Aji Elise's dangerous cross had to be put behind by Brian. Brian's free kick was met by Tanganga but cleared away as the tide started to turn ever so slightly. The left-back's delightful delivery then had to be hurriedly cleared away by the Sunderland defence before the first half came to an end, and much later than billed due to a medical emergency in the crowd. And yes, we'll talk about that more. Right now, let's interject and we'll come back. The medical emergency. Not one, but two. Yes, I don't know what's going on here. This is from the sun.co.uk. It looks a bit weird because I've got it on reader mode because apparently I'm not allowed to look at their website if I don't accept the cookies. So you can see here, I don't know if you can see, because they, for some reason, have put the inlet in, the small picture inside picture. The geezer's standing up. He's not that old. I would say probably, late 40s. He's got the oxygen mask on and he's standing up, so he seems to be okay, and they took him away on a stretcher. So let's have a read. So Mill versus Sunderland clash is suspended after two medical emergencies as concerned players call over paramedics. Mill's clash with Sunderland was stopped due to two medical emergencies in the crowd. The championship game was altered at the 10 in the 41st minute as players called on the medics to attend to a supporter. And there's some pictures there, and there's the picture that you can see a bit clearly, although he's blocked by other people. He's standing up, someone raises their hand, and everyone starts clapping. And I think that was before, when he's on the ground, and they're trying to get the attention of some people to come over. He was taken away on a stretcher. So the referee then led the players off the field in stoppage time after they had been waiting by the technical area. Mill's medical staff was stood down by paramedics as home fans gave the supporter a round of applause when they were lifted onto a stretcher. And Mill tweeted, the players have left the pitch following a medical emergency in the crowd. We send our best wishes to those receiving attention. As the players waited for a resolution, there was then a second medical emergency which further delayed the match. Play eventually resumed after around 30 minutes. And then they talk about the game. So yeah, I don't know what's... two medical emergencies at the same time? What's that about? I don't know. Is it a bit of dodgy gear? I don't know. Is it the 5G signals that they activated the microchips in people to they on the same frequency? I don't know. But yeah, very strange. Very, very strange. And obviously I don't know if we're going to find out if they're alright or if they're not, but that guy looked alright. I don't know about the other guy. The other one was in the West Lower, so we, as we're watching the game, like, we can see over the side that there's a problem. And obviously this isn't the first time this has happened. This is happening quite a lot recently. It is quite a lot since the year 2020 for some reason. I don't know why that might be. A lot of people just dropping down with various ailments, and a lot of people getting cancer as well. So very weird, isn't it? Very weird. But yeah, there you go. I wonder what caused all that stuff. Maybe we'll find out in 60 years when the secrets get released. Maybe we won't. So yeah, we're seeing that. Obviously, the game's suspended. The players come off. It's half time because it was in the 41st minute. It stopped, and obviously the clock ticks along, and they add minutes on. So everyone's thinking, it's half time. He's just gone off at half time. But apparently not, because we're on our phones trying to find out online what's going on X and other places, trying to get the real news. and it turned out that the players had just been, the match was suspended. The players got taken off the pitch, and they were going to come back out, finish the half, which it's churlish, but them's the rules. You got, it says in the rules you got to play 2 halves of 45 minutes. Them's the rules. So they come out and then they go back in again and have a little break, and then I think even in the rules it says it needs to be a 15-minute break. So that's that. And then we come out second half. We actually start playing better, and there you go. So yeah, let's get back to the match report. Bradshaw replaced Honeyman at half-time break before the first chance of the second half went Millwall's way, only for Tanganga to head over from a corner. The defender was then in the thick of it at the other end with 50 minutes on the clock. Stopping a vicious Sunderland effort with his head. Bryan's clip into the area from a free kick was nodded over by Bradshaw as another chance went begging. Coburn's long range stung the palms of Anthony Patterson, and Eliza Meyenda's darting run and shot was saved by Jensen as attempts on goal continued to flow, with Tanganga and Bryan then combining brilliantly on the hour mark to stop the rapid Meyenda from troubling Jensen. Coburn's deflected effort bounced into the arms of Patterson on 62 minutes. The Lions had Sunderland camped into their own half for the second half to this point, and the lonely striker then had a tame effort gathered by the goalkeeper, but it was Sunderland who came within a whisker of making it 2-0 with 20 minutes to play. Tanganga, however, had other ideas and executed the perfect sliding challenge. Bosh. Casper De North struck one from the edge of the penalty box in 74 minutes, but it was saved by Patterson. Harris replaced Watmore and Coburn with Femi Aziz and Ivanovic, with around 15 minutes to play, with the latter winning the ball from the defence before charging into the box and the former taking a pass over the top and headed it back into danger, only for Bradshaw's overhead attempt to foul to trouble the goal, of course. Well, of course. What do you expect? Final throw of the dice saw Langstaff and Amaku introduced for Saville and Hutchison, with moments of normal time remaining. With so many attackers on the pitch, Sunderland were able to hit the lines on the break and almost made it 2-0 through substitute Milan Alexic, but Jensen made himself big to stop the shot, and that was to prove pivotal as just minutes later. So yeah, that started the counter-attack. That save led to the goal. It helped led to our goal. Maku burst down the left wing and crossed to the back post, where Aziz was waiting to tap home for a much deserved equaliser. There could have been more for Millwall, but Ivanovic's pull back into the box was behind Dinor and Bradshaw. Referee John Busby, remember him? 4th time now this season, blowing for time on a dramatic game of football seconds after that. So, crowd of 18,385 with 3,042 away fans. And there's the team there. So this is how it's going to look with the new website. The team was as follows: Jensen, Leonard, Hutchison, Tanganga, Bryan, Saville, Dinor, S.A. Honeyman, Watmore, Coburn. The substitutes were Langstaff on for Hutchison 89th minutes, Imaku on for Saville in the 89th minute, Bradshaw on for Honeyman at half time, Aziz on for Watmore in 73rd minute, Ivanovic on for Coburn in 76th minute. And the unused subs were McNamara, Wallace, Roberts, Wintle, and that's it. So there you go. All in all, I would say when you look at it, you think, oh, that's a good point. But then if you look at the video made yesterday about how they've got so many players out, they're not doing too well at the moment. That was a winnable game. And we didn't play very well in that first 45 minutes. It was absolutely abysmal. And then come the second half, we're playing a lot better. And I would say, so you can see in this picture, except for the heads, you can see in this picture here, Femi Aziz is there and Bradshaw. So if you watch the highlights back, and you can see Hutchison literally setting up their goal, and you can see Tom Bradshaw nearly running into Femi Aziz and fucking up this goal. And we're just scratching our heads. It's like Back to the Future. It's like we've got all these brilliant young players, and we're not playing them. Leave them on the bench. As soon as you bring him off the bench, now we get the goal. We're exciting. You've got Esse, you've got Amaku, you've got Ivanovic, you've got all these players, and you decide to again play Tom Bradshaw for 45 minutes of football, where he's just missing chance after chance after chance. Not only that, but how many times were we offside? We must have been offside about 4 or 5 times. But yeah, really pleased for Amaku as well. Obviously, he's coming in. He's had setbacks. Setback with the Ireland under 21s where they didn't qualify. That would have been history. Didn't happen. Setback for Millwall. Comes off on as a sub, and then ends up getting red carded when the geezer literally kicks him when he's on the ground, and he's the one who gets red carded, and the geezer has done nothing happens to him. So I guess you're allowed to kick players when they're on the ground now. But obviously then he's had injuries as well. And everyone's like, oh, he's out in the cold now. He's done. He's not like if he was like not gonna be played, he wouldn't even be on the bench. It's like all this stuff that Neil Harris is not going to play him. It's like, you bring him on and he gets the assist. He was on the pitch for 6 minutes, 1 minute plus injury time, 6 minutes. He gets the assist. And now we've got games coming up against Portsmouth and Oxford, two of the worst teams in the league. Not the worst, but they're down there. And let's see if we can turn it on and do something against them. We did obviously go to Portsmouth already this season in the Cup with a highly changed team, and we did win 1-0. So let's see how we go. So now let's move on to this, which is the lowdown on Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, as is the lights the Den home support with stoppage time equaliser. This is from obviously the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. And I need to apologise. My throat is really messed up today with all the shouting and stuff, so I might have to keep pausing to either cough or take a sip of water. So if you hear a silence, can you hear a silence? Can you hear a silence? Philosophers out there, can you hear a silence? That will be me taking a drink. So Femi Aziz scored an equaliser in the 93rd minute at the Den as Mill extended their unbeaten run to 8 with a 1-1 draw against Sunderland. It was nothing less than the Lions deserved as a substitute converted from Adomo Mackle's left wing cross at the back post to cancel out Aaron Connolly's first half goal. Here is the lowdown on the match. The lineups. Snapshot of the game. Hard to know where to start. The match finished well after 5 o'clock as 2 medical emergencies in the crowd in separate home areas of the ground saw the players leave the field in the 41st minute. They did not come back out to warm up again until 4:10 p.m. Connolly's goal was a fine finish from the edge of the penalty area after Sunderland's set piece was only partially cleared. Mill struggled with the movement of the league leaders up till the match was brought to a premature stoppage, but they looked far more their old heel-snapping selves in the second period. Tom Bradshaw headed a good chance over from close range, of course, and Anthony Patterson parried away a long-range attempt by Josh Coburn, while Aziz will earn plaudits for finishing off fellow sub Emaku's low ball in. It's worth noting that Lucas Jensen made a big save with his legs from Milan Alexic to prevent Sunderland making it 2-0 late on, one that would have made it game over. Yes. A tactical approach. Mill manager Neil Harris made 5 changes with one of those enforcers, Jake Cooper, who has picked up a knee injury, which could keep him out for 10 weeks. 10 weeks. So what's that? Let's say December, January, February. So he's going to be back start of March. Oh dear. was replaced by Sean Hutchinson. Tom Bradshaw, Ryan Winnell, Aziz and Danny McNamara, all starters at Stoke City, made way for Joe Bryan, Duncan Watmore, Josh Coburn and George Honeyman. Harris opted to make a change at the interval as he took off Honeyman and partnered Bradshaw with Coburn. The Lions were far more aggressive and dynamic after that. It contrasted the opening 20 minutes when they struggled to put passes together as they were penned into their own half. Star man Sean Hutchinson, the club captain, returned to the side due to Cooper's absence. He did not show any signs of rustiness. He was frustrated in the action required to make a sliding tackle in the opening seconds, made the most tackles of any player, 6, and also completed the most passes of any Millwall player with 68. Check the highlights and the goal. Now, obviously, you can say, well, other than that, he did play very well. You know, he did his defending well, except for when he put the header on a plate for the geezer to just hit a wicked volley into the goal. Other than that, you know, best moments. So simple. Aziz being in the right place to convert his first goal for Millwall since his August transfer from Reading. The Den was delirious. Moan of the match, the officiating of John Busby. Again, I mentioned, I don't know why this is happening. This is his 4th Millwall game of the season. He's only had 12 games in the Championship. Why have we had him 4 times? What the fuck is going on? He made some strange calls and only seemed to remember he had cards in his pocket in the 77th minute when he booked Romain Esse. Moments before that, he had not cautioned Joe Bryan for preventing a counter which looked a nailed on yellow. Millwall's players did not get a whole lot of joy out of the referee when it came to free kicks. A talking point down the pub. How Millwall will cope without Cooper is set to be out comfortably into the new year due to a posterior cruciate ligament injury. That sounds painful, doesn't it? Hutchinson was excellent as he partnered Japhet Tanganga today, but it's a stretch to think he can play every match over what is going to be a heavy fixture schedule. Ryan Leonard has played on the right of the back three, and he may well be the option to fill the void if necessary. Other candidates are Wes Harding or Murray Wallace. What the boss had to say. Sometimes, when you're chasing a game, you make a bold decision to throw on 6 attacking players at the end of it, but needs must at times, and the impact from the subs was really impressive. Yeah, but what does that say then in terms of like your starting players? Obviously, I think the way Neil Harris manages, obviously, would you have started Watmore over Aziz? Probably not, especially at the moment. Aziz playing quite well. Got 2 assists recently, but this is Watmore's former club, and Watmore wants to play in the game. So okay, here, Duncan Watmore, you can play in the game. And I understand that, but if you're so desperate and you really want to play in a game, do something when you get on the pitch. Because if you don't, you're coming off. So yeah, there you go. And the thing with this as well, so Ryan Leonard, he's played in the 3. Can he play in the 2? I don't know. What do you think, Kay? But here's the thing, if you do play him in the 2, I think the way it is, I think Hutch is going to play. Obviously, he was a bit rusty today. He made the mistake with their goal, but you would hope that if you keep playing him, he's going to get a little bit better. He's going to get better. And he's going to improve. But there will be limits. Obviously, he might be found out here and there with pace and other things. But you hope that once he gets match sharpness back, he'll be some vestige of his former self. So you'll manage to hit his position now until Cooper comes back. But can you imagine if that's not the case, and then you put Leonard in over? So if you did start Leonard at centre back ahead of Hutchinson, ahead of Harding, ahead of Murray Wallace, can you imagine what those guys are going to think? They're going to think like, what am I, chopped liver? What am I doing here? What's the point? They're going to have an existential crisis. So, a lot of people moaning about like why Wes Harding wasn't involved today. I believe Wes Harding is suspended because he got a red card in the under-21 game the other day, on the 14th of November. So he was suspended because obviously we had the international break and there wasn't a game. So I think sometimes when you get suspended in the under-21s or reserve games, sometimes it's just they ban you just for reserve games, and sometimes they ban you from all football games. So I think he was banned. I think though, was it 2 yellows? So I think it might just be a 1-game ban. But that's another thing as well. We've got Tanganga on 4 yellow cards. Apparently the cut-off date is like 3 or 4 games away. So he needs to not get booked. Otherwise he's going to be missing for a game. Unless they do a bit of jiggery-pokery. And obviously we got Pompey coming up. And we got Oxford coming up. So if he gets a yellow card against Portsmouth, somehow deliberately, I guess it's easy to do now, kick the ball away. Something like that. And he gets booked against Portsmouth. And then he takes the punishment against Oxford. Because Oxford are not very good, but although they can score actually. Today they lost 6-2 or 2-6. They were at home, so they lost 2-6 at home. So unless you do something like that and get Tanganga deliberately suspended for what you consider to be an easy game, we'll wait to see. But there you go. So actually, let's talk about that now. That 2-6. These are the matches this weekend. On Friday, it was 2-2 Plymouth-Watford. Another late goal there from Plymouth. Made it 2-2. The league leaders, Sheffield United. Now, obviously, with our game being 30-minute delayed or whatever it was, that meant that the other games finished, so they knew what the results were or how they were going anyway when they were checking. And yeah, Sheffield United weren't doing too good. Ended up drawing 2-2. Had a player sent off. Burnley beat Bristol City 1-0. Blackburn up to their old tricks. A little bit of rain, apparently. A little bit of rain. A glass full of rain meant that the game was postponed. Although they postponed it in the morning. Not like us when it was 30 minutes before the game kicks off. Or something. I don't remember. I remember they screwed us over that one time. Luton beat Hull. But here we go. Oxford 2. Middlesbrough 6. Oxford 2. Middlesbrough 6. Preston Derby was a draw. Queen's Park Rangers Stoke was a draw. And West Brom Norwich another draw. So many draws in the league this season. So many draws. Game tomorrow, Swansea Leeds. And that's what the table looks like now after today's game. We are still unbeaten. So Sunderland had a 8-game unbeaten run. We had a 7-game unbeaten run. The unbeaten run runs on. We both carry on our unbeaten runs. There you go. Let's have it. We are 8th. We are 2 points above the place above us, which is also on goal difference that place. So bit of a gap there. So it's 2 points to Blackburn below us, although they have a game in hand, and 2 points to the team above us, which is quite a big gap at this point in the season, because then that means you have to string 2 wins in a row to get above them, and which we have been doing until obviously we drew the last 2 games. Burnley back up to 3rd, Leeds in 4th, Middlesbrough in 5th. And West Brom in 6th, the draw specialist. 8 draws they've had. 8 draws. They've only lost 2 games, but they've 8 draws. Insane amount of draws. And Queen's Park Rangers at the bottom, 8 draws as well. I wonder what you can get for doing a Heinz with draws. So how many draws do we have today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draws out of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I guess if you dropped a couple of them out and did it as a Goliath, if you dropped like the obvious one, I guess Oxford Middlesbrough, if you dropped that one out and did all the rest as a draw, like you'll be making profit on that. They probably won't even let you do it. Actually, though, you'll get suspended. They'll suspend your account after 1 win. So yeah, we're 8th in the table. As I said, Wednesday. Now, here's the thing though. Look, Wednesday, Blackburn, Portsmouth. We're playing Portsmouth. They've just had a day off. Though I think they did travel up there, to be honest. If they travelled up the night before, obviously they've been up there in a hotel chilling out. And you imagine they've come back tonight. but they haven't had to physically exert themselves in a football game for 90 minutes. Is that going to be good for them or not? Is that going to help us against them? Don't know. They're not doing too well at the moment, though. They've conceded 28 goals, which is the most in the league. So I think we should be getting after them with pace, as in not Tom Bradshaw. Coburn picked up a little injury today. He might be out. So let's see if we get Ivanovic and Aziz and Maku. Let's see who plays. Let's go after him. Don't be scared. Let's crack them open. Let's get our goal difference up. Let's get the 3 points and get the goal difference up. And then after that, we play Oxford next Saturday. You can see that they've lost. They won against Hull, but they lost 4 of their last 5 against Sunderland, against Swansea, against Watford, and obviously today against Middlesbrough. And they were doing mid-table, but they're kind of sliding down to the position where most people thought they would be. Most people thought Oxford would be the worst team in the league. Personally, I thought, if you go back to my pre-season preview, I wasn't keen on Cardiff or QPR for off-the-field stuff in terms of financial budgetary stuff. But there you go. And we still have tickets for Portsmouth away. No one wants to go to that game because it's midweek. Let me just show you this as well. Yep. So this is the top teams in possession, aggression, aerial duels won, shots per game, pass accuracy, and ratings, as in the average ratings of the players in the matches. And we're 5th with 6.69. Not bad, eh? So let's move on to some post-match comments and find out some information about Jake Cooper's injury. So Mill suffered major injury blow, with Jake Cooper said to be sidelined for more than 2 months. This is from the South London Press via londonnewsonline.co.uk. Mill defender Jake Cooper is said to be missing for up to 10 weeks with a knee injury. The centre-back missed today's 1-1 draw against Sunderland at the Den, and Lions manager Neil Harris said, it's circa 10 weeks. It's a knee injury, picked up after 15 seconds against Stoke. He completed the game and he was able to take his kids out on the Sunday, and on Monday it flared up and it was swollen. We scanned him at the start of last week and it showed the damage. He's going to be in a brace for 6 weeks, and then the time frame after that, recovery period, is 3 to 4 weeks. So how's that 10 weeks then? 6. Yeah, 6 plus 4. Yeah, don't mind me. Josh Coburn was replaced in the second period and also appeared to be struggling with a knock. Asked about if the Middlesbrough loanee had an issue, Harris said, I don't know yet. I need to speak to my medical staff to find out how he was. He wasn't saying he wanted to come off, but he was limping around the pitch, and you need to be cautious sometimes. So that would be unfortunate. Again, obviously, he came in, done well, got injured, he's out, he's come back in now. Is he going to be injured again? Obviously, if he's not injured immediately, he's almost certainly going to be rested for Wednesday, even if he's fit enough to be on the bench. But we wait to see. Hopefully not. But yeah, this is not good. Is it good or is it not good? I mean, it takes away the option of the route one to Jake Cooper when we have set pieces and not. So we have to be a bit more creative. We have to do other stuff, and maybe that'll help us. Maybe it won't. But we'll wait to see. But yeah, like I said, I think it's Hutch is going to play at centre back now, and you hope that he can get match fit, and in terms of not fitness, but in terms of sharpness, where you go, okay, how I haven't ridden a bike in 30 years since I was a kid. Let me get back on the bike. I'm a bit wobbly. Oh, here I go. I'm riding a bike, just like I used to. So get him on and get him riding the bike. Yeah. Now, moving on to this from the southernnews.co.uk. Mill boss We were fucking useless in the first half, but full comeback showed great character. So here you go. Strong language there from Neil Harris. Neil Harris said he thought his side were fucking useless in the first half of Millwall's 1-1 draw with Sunderland at the Den, but was impressed by their fun performance in the second half. The Lions went behind early after Aaron Connolly fired home the Black Cats opener and did not really look like equalising, only having one attempt on goal before the half-time whistle. Millwall were a much improved side coming out of the dressing room, recording 10 shots in the second half before Femi Aziz finally put the ball in the back of the net with only minutes remaining. First half, I thought we were fucking useless. I say it's probably the most disappointed I've been with my team since arriving at the club in February. And I thought all the things I talk about with a Millwall team should do, we didn't do. We didn't defend our box. We didn't defend our midfield. We didn't win our headers. We didn't win our tackles. We didn't defend their set plays. Their goal was a shambles. Now we set up the set play. We didn't play forward. We didn't run forward. We passed the ball off the pitch. We lacked a real identity to what we are as a team, and we didn't look like a team that had been 7 games unbeaten. We adjusted at our half-time. Obviously, the break at 41 minutes gave me an opportunity to just give a little bit of technical detail to how I'd like us to play moving forward, and then the opportunity arose at half-time for me to make a change formation slightly and let the players have it. I'll have my say about how poor the first half was. Now I'd really like to praise the players, the leadership qualities, the determination and desire, the whole football stadium for the atmosphere in the second half, fed off the quality of the play that we had. And we looked like a team that could pass through and cut Sunderland open. We could play around the outside and run forward and play incisive passes and create chances, and we could also play forward, run forward and pick up the second balls as well. And that's what a Millwall team should look like. I thought we looked a real threat second half, and I thought we forced Sunderland on the back foot. And sometimes, when you're chasing the game, you can make bold decisions. So we ended up with 6 attacking players on the pitch at the end of the game. Needs must at times. I thought the impact from the subs was very, very impressive. Harris was impressed with his side's character during the second half. When we were poor first half, and they knew they were poor first half, they didn't need me to politely remind them at half time that they were poor in the first half and what they were doing correctly. They know that. Fair play to them for their reaction. That's what I expected from my changing room, and that's what we've got in abundance. When I talk about with the culture we got and the atmosphere we've got, and the proper lads that we've got, that's how they respond. And that's not just senior players that've been here a long time. It's young players as well, like Romain. Having the bravery to keep getting the ball, Femi to keep getting the ball and dribbling at people, and when they tread on it, they give it away. They go and get it again. And that's what you want, huge credit to the players. That's 8 games unbeaten. That's 3 games here now, and against 3 of the top 4 sides in the division. We got 7 points, so fair play to the group. Indeed, like I said, on the face of it, it's not a bad result. But when you consider all the players that got out injured and how poorly we started the game, it does feel like we've dropped 2 points there. So, yeah. Now, has anyone mentioned it yet? Obviously, he says here, look, the break at 41 minutes gave me the opportunity to just give a little bit of technical detail. Has anyone mentioned it? Conspiracy theory. Millwall put people in the crowd, and when the team's playing really, really badly, they pretend to be, they collapse and pretend to be injured so the game can get stopped. That's probably going to happen. I doubt it'll be a Millwall team that does it, but there's probably some team in Italy or somewhere that does that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing they do, isn't it? Or probably Greece, something like that, I doubt that Millwall done that, but when you get a break, you stand around, you talk to them, you tell them, you tell them how badly they're playing. It's just how it is. Now, moving on to this from bbc.co.uk. So at half-time, I let them have it. Lions boss Neil Harris said his players didn't do the Millwall basics in the first half before they fought back to claim a last-gasp 1-1 draw against Sunderland. Femi Aziz's equaliser deep in added time rescued a point for the hosts at the Den after Aaron Connolly had to give them the Black Cats a lead in the first half. At half-time, I let them have it properly, because that's what it deserved. In the first half, we didn't play with the Millwall identity, all the Millwall intensity, the basics. You win your duels, you win your headers, you win your races, you win your tackles, and you play forward and you run forward at the right times. The second half we played forward and we ran forward and we played around and we played through, we played over and we created chances. We were a threat on set plays, and that's what Millwall identity is, and we had it in abundance in the second half. Millwall finished the match with 5 attackers as Harris' team pressed for the equaliser, and it was Ziz and fellow substitute Adama Maku who combined for the goal. On his substitutions, Harris said, sometimes just throwing caution to the wind when you're behind. Sometimes you can do that. We were trying to get 5 players against their back 4, trying to overload the midfield area, and you just hope that you get a moment of quality, and we had that. Indeed. Now, here we go again. More comments from Neil Harris, londonnewsonline.co.uk. So Mill boss howls impact from subs and keeper Jensen's line salvage a point with late leveller. Neil Harris was delighted to see Femi Aziz open his goal account for Mill with the late equaliser in today's 1-1 draw at home against Sunderland. The leveller came from 2 substitutes combining. Irish attacker Adomio Maka produced a low cross from the left, which Aziz slotted past Anthony Patterson and Black Cat's goal. All the substitutes contributed when they came on, said Neil Harris. It's not easy for Adomu to come on in the 90th minute and try make an impact in the last 5 minutes. I just threw caution to the wind, and we had to get more bodies on their last line, overload, get the wing backs to the wrong side of their fullback. So it came off a transition, but it worked. A vital moment for us. Femi's getting better and better in the middle show. He's starting to show his qualities. He's got 3 assists now, but for him to get his first goal, it will be really key for him. Lucas Jensen did not manage to make it 4 straight clean sheets at the Den due to Aaron Connolly's early strike, which put Sunderland ahead, but the Lions' number 1 crucially kept out Milan Elektric's shot with his legs to deny the visitors from enjoying a 2-goal cushion. Harris said, it was a good save, and that's what you need in game-defining moments, don't you? For the free kick that the referee gives for their goal, is it a free kick? It's debatable. It's not why we've conceded, it's poor organisation skills. It's why we conceded. Lucas makes a big save, then we go up the other end and score a second later and score. Indeed. A vital save. So that's it for the game today. There was the other game that we mentioned before, big game. In terms of, it was so big that Chelsea decided to show it live on their website, and Mill did as well. It was an 11 a.m. kickoff, by the way, and as you can see, quite a crushing scoreline, which it wasn't that bad actually. Mill played quite well. It's just that Chelsea were more clinical. Certainly in the second half, they kicked on and they were more direct, and they were more pacey through the middle. And they went after it. So they kind of stepped up that gear when they needed to, which, as you would expect, and one of the best youth academies in the world. So Chelsea's under-18. This is from chelseafc.com, by the way. Chelsea under-18s delivered a dominant performance against Millwall on Saturday morning. Well, I wouldn't say that. Extending our run of wins in the Premier League Cup group stage with goals in both halves, including a 4th in stoppage time at Millwall's ground. So, yeah, there was a late 4th goal. I think they went up 3-0 and then it's 3-1. And there was like 15-20 minutes left, and you thought, are we coming back? Is this a comeback? Nah, it's not. And then they scored again. The Lions pulled one back through George Bowman, but Frankie Runman secured the win with a stoppage time goal, completing a successful first Premier League Cup away trip following back-to-back home victories in the competition. Let's just skip to the end. I don't need to read all this stuff telling us how good Chelsea's players are. And these pictures aren't from that game, by the way, because the game was obviously pissing down with rain, and there was one camera there on the sideline, and the geezer's got like a black rag, and he's rubbing the camera. It's like proper old school. It's like you're watching it via someone's phone or something. But yeah. Okay, bloody hell, this is an under-18s game, by the way. Okay, so here's the team as follows. So we got the scorers and we got the time. So they scored after 6 minutes, which was, early on. I think I was waiting for the game to come on. Like, is there going to be a problem in the game coming on? Finally get it on after, I don't know how long it had been because there's nothing going on graphics. I think it may have been like 2 minutes or so. And then once it comes on, we're playing for a couple of minutes and they score. They score in the 6th minute. But you can see they don't score again until 59 minutes. So Millwall, it wasn't completely one-sided. Like I said, in the second half, they stepped it up the gears to push on. and they scored in the 59, 62, and it's like, oh, here we go. And then we score in 78, and we're going after them trying to get their goal, and then they hit us and they get the 90+2 to make it 4-1, which seems worse than it was. The team was as follows: Jacob Brozny, Darrell Archer, Sacha Vieira, Oliver Whitby, Harry Taylor, Dean Forbes, George Beaumont, who scored the goal, Elias Mansour, Eladin O'Boyle, Abdullah Abdulaziz, Sheldon Kendall, and the subs were Jaden Tectus for Elias Mansour on the 75th minute, Jaden Thomas Smith on the 63rd minute for Eladin O'Boyle, William Wright for Abdullah Abdulaziz on the 76th minute. So there you go. What I would say, I think it's the two wingers for Millwall were very good. I think Beaumont was on the left, and I'm not sure if it's Abdulaziz or Kendall was on the right. But yeah, whoever that was, they played pretty well. Couldn't really see much because of the rain, but you know. So what does that mean? Well, this is from youthhawk.co.uk. It means we're out of the competition. Like I said, we needed to. If we didn't win that, if we would have won that game, we would have topped the group. We didn't win the game, so we didn't top the group, and we may finish second. We might not even finish second now. And then there's a runner-up. Only one of the second-place teams goes through. So this is how it looks now. Well, not too bad. 1-1 draw and 1 lost one. Obviously, there is a cup game next Friday, the 29th. The FA Youth Cup. The same players, the under-18s, will be in that competition. So there you go. That's how it ended. Not too bad, Not too bad. Could have been better, but not too bad. And you see Chelsea beat Newcastle 4-1. So, that's nothing to shake a stick at. But you can see it looks similar. Although Chelsea scored 26, if you look at the Newcastle game. Then they score in the first half injury time. So we did better than that. It was only 1-0 at half time. And then they carry on scoring right up until the end of the game. It's what they do. So we did pretty well to keep them to 1-0 until right at the end of the game. If we go down, you can see that the ranking of the best runners-up. I would imagine, for some reason, we don't have results. I would imagine that's because some of these games may well have been postponed today due to the bad weather. But at the moment, we're not going through the ranking of the best runners-up. We are way down there. So, it's over. We now have to turn our attention to the FA Youth Cup next Friday against Hull at the Den. You can go and watch that. We'll wait to see when tickets are released, probably to Monday. And when they are, I'll let you know how you can go about watching that game. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.